Hello everyone! In this video, we will describe what is our approach when working with an aspiring entrepreneur since the first moment we meet him. It is a way to look at a person as whole, both as an individual and as a worker. Therefore, considering all the aspects linked to his personal and professional identity. The objective is to collect all the useful elements to understand how the person defines himself compared to his entrepreneurial project. To do so, we provide a useful outline to explore the dimensions that we believe are the most relevant. It is a flexible outline, which can be modified by the trainer and not a rigid set of questions. We keep the focus on how the person is. We try to ask them who they are. Since it is a strong, intrusive question, we try to ask it with interest, curiosity. Talking about oneself can be a very difficult exercise. Each of us has personal resources. It is important to know the key resources of the people in front of us in order to make the best possible use of those resources. Not everyone can recognize them. So, let's explore what the person's interests are, what their gifts are, what they are passionate about, what is important to them, what knowledge they have, how to do it. Simple. Try asking them. Now, let's switch our focus on the aspects that are concerned with the professional dimension. We try to grasp and understand what the person offers, what his technical and professional skills are, the services he is able to perform, his key activities. This allows us to draw lines of coherence between what the person is, the resources he has, and the project he wishes to develop. We believe that this coherence is very important. In this section, we explore what the person value proposition is. When we talk about value, we are referring to why people should prefer our interlocutor over another. We also know that it can be very difficult to talk about one's value, so the look and the way we ask the question should convey a certain sense of trust and interest. Let's start now by exploring what meanings people attach to work. Ask the person what work means to them. Invite them to find at least 2 words to describe the meaning. Then, invite them to find the opposite. If, for example, the person tells us that work for him is growth versus failure, I can guess that this person will approach work with a need for continuous updates necessary to feel stimulated. Otherwise, she risks becoming flat and feeling stagnant. Now, we ask the person to describe his role. We might find ourselves in front of a leader, a creative person, or a jungle, or a mediator. Doing this is important not only from a self-defining and self-awareness raising perspective, but it is also provides the possibility to question one's role, paying attention to his continuous movement and to reflect on his usefulness in real time. We are delving into the life story of the person in front of us. To do this, we ask the person what he has learned about him through work, what he did not feel capable of, what he would not do, what he thought he liked but found out he did not. It is a useful occasion to understand what we have learned about our working past. Here we enter the entrepreneurial dimension. We ask the person how the idea of developing an entrepreneurial project was born. What are the needs and desires that led him to the possibility of becoming an aspiring entrepreneur? This is the premise, and then we ask the person to tell us about his business idea. This is a useful exercise to take a snapshot of the beginning of the business idea, to get an idea of the level of conception, definition, and design of the idea. with the aim of always working with coherence between what the person is and what idea the person intended to develop. This is the time to explore the elements of commonality between the person and their idea. The question we usually ask is, how does your idea look like you? How does it talk about you? How does it describe you? We ask the person to imagine him as an entrepreneur. Ask him what is fair hire. In this phase, we put ourselves in a position to listen, without being in a hurry to find solutions. Now, let's apply the SWOT analysis. The SWOT analysis is useful to identify one's own areas of development and making decisions consistent with one's goal. It is a tool that helps the person to focus on his strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. This tool can be used and propose an exercise to be done in writing, using, for example, Post-it. We invite the person to focus on their strengths, advantages the person has over others, competencies, connection, certifications, skills. Then we proceed to invite the person to think about their weakness. To do this, it may be helpful to try to answer the following questions. What aspect of yourself would you like to improve to achieve your goals? Which tasks do you avoid and why? Do you need to acquire specific skills? Where do you feel weak? Where, in what instances, could you be counterproductive? Let's move into the opportunity quadrant. An opportunity is an external or internal event, a trend or change that should give an advantage in the future. In order to identify opportunities, it may be useful to look also at the context, for example, at strategic contacts, at the potential of using technology, or at opportunities related to attending courses, networking, etc. The next quadrant refers to threats. Threats can jeopardize success. We cannot control them directly, but we can anticipate, contain, or neutralize them so that they do not cause damage. We can invite the person to reflect on what things can go wrong and then think about how to deal with them. For example, strengths can be used to avoid threats and take advantage. Of opportunities. Threats can be used to improve weakness. We believe foresting awareness of who the person is to be an important aspect of planning strategies, achieving goals, and building happy projects. We like to carry out this work in a small group setting, in which the experiences of each person can be shared with a group of peers and can be used to encourage dialogue, learning, and socialization.